Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again, this time around, the Octopath Traveler II demo for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC for a game that is set to be released on February 24th, 2023 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Octopath Traveler 2, of course, is the sequel to the original Octopath Traveler, but thankfully this game actually is a completely new story. So for gamers that didn't have the ability to play the original, this game has no bearings to that beyond the fact that it does take a lot of the tools from the original Octopath Traveler and implants it into this game with better variations and upgrades and a lot of quality of life improvements. From a gameplay perspective, Octopath Traveler really isn't that unique. It is a turn-based JRPG, where of course you take a character or characters, depending on how big your party is, and defeat certain enemies, be it humans, monsters, or even apparitions. The interesting aspects when it comes to the battle and combat system has to be rooted in both the characters that you utilize and the boost and break systems. The boost system is rooted to the player itself. As you land successful attacks or defend properly and don't die, a little meter will increase on the right hand corner of the screen for that character. And with the boost, you're able to not only increase the power output of your character, but it'll also add to the amount of not only damage done, but also the amount of strikes done. And by boosting, you're able to not only land just a single strike, but also multiple follow-up strikes with both your abilities and your regular attacks, depending on how high you boosted your character. Because you can stack the boost. You can either just do it once and have a +1, or you can wait until the meter is full and produce this grandiose display of power, be it with a simple attack or one of your skills. Now when it comes to the break system is rooted on how you attack enemies. If you're able to hit enemies with a critical strike, especially if you're utilizing a tool, a weapon, or a magic spell that is rooted to their weak point, it will break them, which is stunning them. And that will allow you to not only do more damage to that enemy, but also will force that enemy to lose a turn. So if you're able to, thankfully the game actually displays the vulnerabilities of each enemy once you discover it. If you're able to stun the enemy, you're able to land continuous attacks and potentially avoid damage completely. Ensuring that you have a break on an enemy and potentially doing an overkill will actually boost the amount of XP that you attain, as expected when it comes to not only the previous game but also the genre as a whole. The class system plays a big role in how each character plays, what kind of skills and abilities they have. But most importantly, when it comes to Octopath Traveler, there are two sets of skills, one that is learned and one that is adapted to whatever the scenario is. Going back to the warrior class, he has a set of skills that he attains automatically, mostly because of leveling up and just what the game gives you at the beginning. But he also has learned skills, and this is tied into his character interaction with other NPCs that are scattered throughout the map, where you're able to walk up to that character and challenge them to a duel. And if you win that duel, you'll gain a specific ability that, just like say Pokemon, is a limited amount of slots. So if you get that ability and you run out of slots, you have to sacrifice either that ability or one of the other abilities that you have. So there are two sets of skills that you are learning as you're playing with each character, be it the skills that you're learning manually or the skills that are given to you automatically, which of course opens up a big realm of possibilities in how you control and craft your characters, no matter what class they're a part of. This also ties into the ability to control the day and night cycle. As you move throughout a map, you can fight and interact with characters during the day or with the touch of the button, in the case of the PlayStation, the R2 button, at night. The enemies at night though are a lot more dangerous, but they give of course more XP if you're able to conquer them. Thankfully I didn't have that much trouble against the enemies. There were a few times I did fail, and that was simply because of my own doing and not because of the game's incredible difficulty. With this demo being limited to only 3 hours of playtime per save, It means it's impossible to play with all 8 characters in one save without deleting your original save. So if you want to try out different characters, you will have to either back up the save and play over that and then restore it if you didn't like that character, or you'll just have to sacrifice the original playthrough, because whatever you do that is completed in this version will actually carry over into the full game. So you will not have to start off at the beginning of every chapter for every character, depending on how far you got with those specific characters that you played with. Like, I was able to actually merge one chapter of my original character, my original playthrough with the warrior class, into another character playthrough. The game looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic. I had no major or even minor issues with both the technical aspects, frame rate drops, character interactions. The only thing I will say that I did feel is a little lacking, that was something of a problem in the original game, and that is when it comes to side quests, it becomes a little bit difficult at times to discover exactly where you need to go and what you need to do to complete certain tasks. For example, one guy was saying that he lost his wallet due to a group of thieves. I had no idea how to find the wallet, and by the time my time was up, I never did. And there was no real indication, be it from him or the map, to find out how to get to those thieves to potentially retrieve that wallet. Overall, this demo did a fantastic job of making me excited about Octopath Traveler 2. I will definitely be checking it out. I'm excited to see how it plays out completely. I'm excited to see how every character plays. And I would suggest, if you're a fan of JRPGs, if you're a fan of turn-based action, if you're a fan of solid storytelling and good characterization work, this is not only a great demo to check out, but it's also going to be, in my opinion, a fantastic game to play when the full game does come out. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again, the Octopath Traveler 2 demo review for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch, for a game that is scheduled to come out on February 24th, 2023 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to back up my save and start another game just to see how these other characters play out. And if I run out of time, I guess I'll have no choice but to say, oh lordy.